Mhairi Black.
Now, the Tories have a habit of announcing policies that are backed by arguments that in a sentence quite often can sound reasonable. However, the minute you scratch beneath the surface, you see that every policy is soaked in ideology and backed by mistruths that are unrecognisable in the real world. And I want to give a few examples, the first being universal credit. We've had umpteen debates in this House explaining in great detail why universal credit is not fit for purpose. Even this month I've had constituents live off nothing but 70 quid. So the Chancellor has announced a boost to the work allowance as an answer to these problems, and he expects credit for it. But again, scratch beneath the surface and we find that this boost only reverses half of the cuts that were made in the 2015 budget. Now, the second example I want to give is the living wage, which Tories often say that the best way out of poverty is through work. And they preach that they introduced the living wage. They were the government that did it, and they arrogantly pat themselves on the back for raising it in this budget. But again, scratch beneath the surface and we discover they've introduced nothing of the sort. They've slightly increased the minimum wage and it still doesn't meet the cost of living. And no amount of rebranding will make anyone forget that. But further to this, we see nothing in this budget to address the age discrimination that is entrenched in the minimum wage structure. Yes, I will.
Very grateful to Mhairi for forgiving wage. We'll see that in the budget that the government have managed to increase the minimum rate for apprentices to just £3.90 an hour. So given that that lot won't do anything in pay equality, they'll should support me and make sure that they devolve relevant legislation to Scotland so we can deliver a fair day's work for a fair day's pay.
Funnily enough, I couldn't agree more. And I have to say that as a 24-year-old, I would challenge anyone in here to justify why I should be paid less than anyone else in this place. Because if the law doesn't apply to me, why should it apply to anyone else out there? Now, my third example is the two-child cap. Now, this is the claim that really sticks in my craw, because if it was true that the Chancellor is supporting families, if that was true, he would not make women have to prove that they were raped in order to get benefits for their children. And I see that not many Tories are giving me eye contact at the minute. Over 73,000 households receiving less tax credits than before. And what is this government's response? And this is a quote: "People on welfare need to make decisions about the number of children they may or may not have." That statement is as barbaric as it is downright stupid. Nothing more ignorant, cruel and deliberate misconception to hide behind. I will not. Life does not happen like that. There is no telling how or when an individual circumstances will change, and this government knows that, and it's children that are paying the price. Now, finally, I want to make mention of the very people I'm sure the Chancellor would love to forget. Those WASPI women who refuse to disappear quietly. Now, I've noticed that any time we on these benches highlight problems like WASPI or universal credit, we are told to use our shiny new powers in the Scottish Parliament to fix it. Take universal credit for an example. The Scottish Government actually listened to the experts who said fortnightly payments would be much more flexible for claimants. We used the little influence we have to at least try to make this system slightly better for people. Actually, few people are aware that the Scottish Government actually has to pay Westminster for the luxury of trying to protect people from the very worst of these policies. So I'm afraid I will take no lectures from the Conservative Party or from the Labour Party, who fought tooth and nail to make sure that Scotland did not get the powers required to fix these problems. We were told that employment law and pensions were too important to be devolved, that we were better together. So don't dare turn around and say that Scottish people should fork out more money to plug holes in policies that they didn't vote for in the first place. Let's be clear, this budget delivers austerity and simply gives it a different name. If this is better together, then the Scotland I want to live in is and deserves better than this.